Deronda here with Foods 101. Today I'm showing you how to make apple crisp. The summer season is ending and the fall season is approaching, and I want to give you a heads up on one of the most delicious apple crisp you'll ever make. I use 4 large Granny Smith apples. If you have medium size, you want to use 6 because we're looking for 5 to 6 cups of our peeled, cored, and sliced apples. 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. This is going to go into the apple part along with the fresh lemon juice. For the top of this apple crisp, you're going to use 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup of packed brown sugar, 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1/3 cup of cubed butter. Now you want this chilled, so I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator while I show you how we're going to peel and core these Granny Smith apples. I've got my apples that I've been peeling. I'm going to show you how I do it. I like to leave the peel hole. I try to see if I can get all the way to the end without breaking the peel. A paring knife works beautiful to achieve this. Okay, I'm almost there. And I did it! Woo! Did you time me? Woohoo! How fun. I'm just going to cut this in half. As you can see, this is a paring knife. Be real careful when working with the knife. And then we're going to cut it into quarters. And we're just going to remove the end there, as you can see. And then you just pop out the core. It usually just pops out very nicely. As you can see, I'm cutting that about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch thick. Whatever you like. And I got a little bit of apple peel on there. That won't hurt anything. We're going to take that lemon. We're going to cut it in half. And you're going to add this lemon to the top of these apples because you don't want these apples oxidizing. That means, like, when it hits the air, it'll start turning brown. So a little lemon juice over the top. And if you don't have one of these little lemon juice squeezers, that's fine. Just stick a fork here in the center and just squeeze your lemon juice out at that point. Now, we're going to give this a lovely little tossing. That looks perfect. Next, we're going to mix that sugar and that cornstarch with the cinnamon together with the whisk. Oh yeah, we're going to get these 3 ingredients really incorporated, and I think we're getting a cornstarch shower there. And we're going to sprinkle this over the top. Okay, I'm going to use it all. Depending on how sweet your apples are, you may not want to use it all. And we're going to give this a lovely little tossing until we get all of those apples coated with that sugar, cornstarch, and cinnamon. And if you're not a cinnamon fan, leave the cinnamon out. If you're a great cinnamon fan, then you can even add more cinnamon to this. Add your apples into a 7 by 11 baking dish. Make sure it's well buttered, just like this. And then these apples are going to tumble right down in here. And if you have a little bit of dry sugar in the bottom, that's fine because it's going to melt right in to these fabulous apples. Make sure you got a lovely even layer. To make that crumb topping, I'm going to add that chilled cubed butter. Just took it out of my refrigerator. I'm adding that granulated sugar, the packed light brown sugar, little bit of salt there, and the flour. With the pastry tool, and if you don't have one, you may use 2 knives like this, and you can cut it in this way. But since I bake and cook all the time, I have this pastry tool I love to use. If you don't have one, go over to Walmart and get yourself one. They work perfectly, and they cut the butter in to this brown sugar, the granulated sugar, the flour, and the salt very nicely. It may stick, and if it does, just scrape it down. If your butter weren't cold, you wouldn't be able to get this like little pea-sized pieces of butter throughout your sugar and your flour mixture here. That looks about perfect. You want to be sure that your oven is preheating to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And now this goes over the top of these apples. And let me tell you, y'all, you are absolutely gonna love this recipe. It's one of my most favorite fall recipes using apples. Off to that preheated oven on the middle rack for 1 hour. Use your timer and no peeking. Baked apple crisp. And look at it bubble. You can even hear it. Oh yeah. Yum, smells delicious. I'm gonna let this cool for about a half an hour and then I'll cut into it and I'll tell you what it tastes like. Oh yeah. I'm going in for that apple crisp bite. Oh my gosh, these apples have just baked into deliciousness. And if you could smell the cinnamon and the baked apples and oh my yummies. I baked my apple crisp here for about 55 minutes. All right, looky here. My favorite dessert in these nice, cool fall days that are just around the corner. There it is. Wow. The perfect amount of tartness from those Granny Smith apples. The perfect amount of that brown sugar, granulated sugar, and cinnamon, y'all. Gotta come down here and show you what it looks like. Oh yeah, perfect. This apple crisp never disappoints. Serve it with a little whipped cream, serve it with a scoop of ice cream, serve it just by itself, however you like it. I'm Deronda with Foods 101. Leave me thumbs up. Follow me here on YouTube or Instagram. Leave me a comment. Thanks a million for watching, and I'll catch you next time.